Alright, we've got the Taurus Spectrum today. This is a 380. Now we're going to have to clear it. Pretty sure it's loaded. Got that out of the chamber. Now we're going to check it. We're going to check the chamber, make sure that thing's clear. So now we know we're unloaded to clean. If you've never disassembled the Taurus Spectrum, it's got this little basically flathead screw head right here. And we're going to turn it just like that. If you're looking at it, that's counterclockwise. And it actually has right here, it says lock, and now you see it's turned this way. It says it's unlocked right there. So we're good to go. Pop that off. This is completely disassembled. The spring, push forward, pull out, hold on to it because it can pop off. Barrel up and out. Alright, I'm going to set all these over here. Going to get my bucket. Alright, now I'm going to take my rod and my brush. I've already have this one set up for the 380. I'm going to take the hops number 9. Swirl it around. Knock the excess off. Send it down in. All the way in. All the way out. Swirl. Knock the excess off. What we're doing is I do this 3 times in here, and when I swirl it on the other two, the first one I'm basically just getting it wet with solvent. The other two, when I swirl it down in there, I'm knocking any trash off into the solvent. It'll just float to the bottom. It's not gonna make it just go away. It will settle down to the bottom. But that gives me a clean brush every time I put it back in here. Alright, so now I'm going to take my bore snake. You can get these at the store. This is set up for the 380. The 380, the 9mm, 357, and 38 Special are all the same. The 380 and 9 are 0.355 of an inch in diameter. The 9mm or the 357 and 38 Special are 0.357. They're the same diameter. That's why you can shoot 357. You can shoot 38 Special in a 357. Again, I just send this through 3 times. I do groups of 3s for whatever reason. I've just always done groups of 3s. And then we will look at it and see if I can get you, see how shiny that is down in there. That is good and shiny. So that's good to go. Now I'm going to take my rag. I'm going to wipe off the outside. Make sure it's nice and clean. Now if I have to clean the barrel, I will, but I'll clean it with the gun scrubber. The outside with the gun scrubber and not the gun solvent. It's not going to hurt the barrel, but I also don't want it to start taking the finish off prematurely. Alright, this ramp, make sure you get this ramp nice and clean. This one's clean. Alright, so we're good to go. Alright, going to grab the slide. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our gun scrubber, get it wet. A little bit of spray. Take our toothbrush. This one is not really dirty from the last time it was cleaned. And this one gets cleaned fairly often. This is my wife's personal little carry gun. She does like this gun. It holds well. It's kind of made into the design of the old Walther. What was it, the PPK, I think. Alright, so now when I'm spraying this, I know you probably can't see it through, but I'm watching the drips to see if they're still dirty coming off the back end. And when they go clear, spray it down in your firing pin hole. Again, watching your drips. If they're still dirty, keep spraying. When they start going clear, you know it's clean. Now I'm going to get this other end. Same thing, watching the drips off the back end. If it's still dirty, we keep going. If it's clear, we know it's clean. Alright, so I'm going to wipe the whole thing down. The gun scrubber is synthetic safe, so you can spray it on anything. I do absolutely suggest using a synthetic safe solvent on this part. Do not use your hops number 9 on this part, because your hops will actually melt plastic and it will tarnish, or it will mess your finish up on your the rest of your gun. The hops number 9 is bore solvent, and bore solvent only. Do not use it on the rest of the stuff unless you just really don't care about your gun. Alright, so we're going to take the frame. I'm going to give it a look over. This isn't bad. It's not that dirty. This doesn't get a whole lot of use out of it. It does get shot every couple weeks or so. But then it's not, of course, you know, it's not 100 rounds or anything out of it. It's 40 or 50 probably. To keep the practice up, to keep it there, to keep the muscle memory and the feel of the gun, basically, because we have other guns that we use to practice with, but we do put anywhere from 20, I'd say 25 each on our carry guns, so we keep the feel of it, and then we practice with other guns. Again, doing the same thing. We're watching the solvent drip off the back, and it's clear, so I know that that is clean. You're not going to get your firearm perfectly clean like this. It will be clean enough. It will be well within spec, if you will, of cleaning a firearm. The only way to get it really clean is to put it in a ultrasonic cleaner, which I do use, and I'm going to set them up to get them in the videos sometime. But right now I'm just showing you how you can clean it. And there's a couple other cleaning stuff that we can use as well. So I'm going to take this and sit this over to the side, that I'll show you, especially stuff you may just have around the house that will work in a pinch. Setting that into the side, I'm going to take my rod, and I'm just going to wipe the rod off. I'm just going to wipe it off, making sure that the rod is good and clean. Alright, now that I got the rod cleaned, just a little bit, that may have been too much, wipe a little excess. I mean, I'm talking, it is not a lot on my finger. And then we're just going to rub it around on the rod. And then the spring's not dirty at all, so I'm just going to put it right back together. Okay. You take the barrel, take the rag, and you can see some spots on the barrel that was left over. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that barrel back down again. Alright. Now the barrel, I'm going to take a little bit of wax, get it on there, and just spread it out. And I mean, I'm talking, it is a very, very thin coat. Basically, when you're looking at this stuff, you want to see where it has changed colors. There's going to be a little sheen on it, but you want to see where it's basically just kind of changed colors, darkened up a little bit. And that's all you want. That's good to go. Alright, now I'll take my FMO 350 AW spray lubricate, and there's a few things that are working in here. You've got your firing pin right here, and it works forward, but at the back of your firing pin we've got this little spring right here. I'm not going to spray down in the firing pin chamber, if you will, but I am going to spray the back. I'm going to send it right. That is well more than enough. And that's about, on this one, all I'm going to do. Outside of, you've got this little safety mechanism right here. I'm going to barely put a touch right there. And then I'm actually going to actuate the safety mechanism to work it down in. And this is just the safety lock within the gun. All of them have it. All the ones I've ever done. Now they're all in different locations and they all look like different. Most of them are up here and they look like a little button. This looks more like a lever on this gun. Alright, now we're going to take grease, take my finger, I'm going to grease everything I can get to with my finger. Now with the rails and stuff that slide back and forth off each other, metal to metal, I do go a little bit thicker than just changing color. I want to kind of see the grease on there. It kind of looks like a brush stroke when you're painting. The brush strokes that are left, that's kind of what this looks like right in here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what I'm going for. That's not a lot of grease. Now I'm going to take my little painter's thing, and I'm going to get down in my grooves along my slide. That's where the slide and frame meet up, and they slide back and forth in those grooves. So we want some grease down in there as well, all the way up on the slide, also on the sides right in there. You can get your finger down in there and get it all on the side. Basically internally you want something, whether it is grease or oil, touching most of these surfaces in here. That's enough to get it up on the side right there. Now I do grease down in here, and I just take my finger and basically move the grease around down in there. And I just like to coat it. I like a coating on my gun, especially this is just carbon steel. Once that coating wears off, your slide or frame or whatever or that's carbon steel and has this little coating, whatever type of coating it is, if it's carbon steel, once it wears off, it's going to start rusting. So what the grease will do is actually help protect that coating. So I just put a little bit of grease, and yes, I go down in here around the firing pin. I try not to get it on the hole, but I do go around the firing pin right in there. I'm going to go down in here, right there. Alright, that looks pretty good. We can get it down in here. And right now I'm literally just kind of coating it. This right in here, me doing anything here, has no purpose whatsoever outside of giving it a coating. Here, it will slide a little bit here, so I'm going to get some there. Right there, just get the coating on it. And you're going to learn, when you use a gun enough, it will start wearing. Here, and down in here, and down in there. You'll see wear points, and you're going to know, okay, I might need a little bit thicker grease there. Again, you don't want big globs of grease, but you may want to put it just a hair thicker in the wear spots. Again, I like grease with this over oil, simply because the oil tends to dissipate quicker. Basically just get used up, moved around, moved off surfaces. I mean, it doesn't actually disappear, it goes somewhere, but oil goes faster than grease. Grease sticks around longer, and that's why I use, and I'm putting it down in the holes right now, just on the outside of the rim of the inside of the hole. Putting a little coating there. Alright, this one's good. Alright, now for the frame. Alright, you've got some moving parts that I can't get to down in there, so we're going to take our 350 AW FMO Lubriplate 350 AW. I'm going to let that work down in there. It will work down in there. I'm going to get it right here too. Basically anything you can't get to, put this oil on it. That was probably actually too much, but we'll wipe off the excess. Alright, so we've got this part of the trigger right here that runs up along the plate on the inside. So I'm going to start spraying. And then I'm going to rub it over. And we're going to have to wipe the excess off on this. This is one of those that it's kind of hard to get to down in there. Now you can start actuating that piece, and it will help it fall down in there a little bit better. Alright, so I had got it on here. I'm actuating it here as well. And all that will just work its the grease down in there a little bit quicker. Alright, now if you see I got a lot of excess right here, I'm actually going to just wipe that off. It doesn't hurt to mix your grease and oil at all, to be honest. but I wipe the excess off anyway. Alright. Take your grease, go down along that rail right in there, and now I can just kind of rub it. And it's still going to mix a little bit with the oil, and that's fine. Just a little extra protection. You just don't want that excess. I can get the top here, I can get down in here with my fingers. Just a little bit. Alright, we're going to get here on this slide. Down in that rail, because remember, this slides the frame and the slide interlock right here, and they slide back and forth on each other. You can already see some wearing. This is a fairly new gun. Not a lot of use at all, but it's already wearing. And again, we don't, the guns that we actually carry, we do shoot once a month, but we don't shoot heavily once a month. We have other guns similar that we shoot and practice with, but we do shoot them to keep the feel of the firearm. Again, anything that's got your coating and is metal, you want to get a little grease or oil on it just to help protect that coating. And this is a little slide lock right here. Alright, I need to get the excess grease or excess oil. That was a lot of oil, but it's down in there now. I do not, yep, there it is. Right there on that trigger. I'm going to get that excess off that trigger. I figured there would because I got a little more than I should have down in there. Get that excess off. You don't want excess oil draining, just oozing off the gun. That is not properly oiled, especially not for a carry gun. If you're going to store that gun, you know, for until the next time you shoot it, if it's going to sit in a safe, okay, whatever. But then you want to clean it off then. Because I know a lot of guys, they pack it real good between, especially like hunting seasons. But for your carry gun, you don't want oil oozing. That's not what you want. Alright, this is pretty well done. So we're going to put it back together. Alright, we got the slide, the barrel down in the barrel hole, slide it forward, pull it back. See a little notch? This is part of what's going to help. What the part that locks in will actually lock on kind of up in here. This is a real easy one to put together. Now the rod and spring, the free end of the spring goes forward, the part with the rod goes to the back, and it's going to seat down in here. And let's see, can you see that? Right down there, you got a little sloped step and then a straight step. You're going to put it on that straight step so it will seat properly. Alright, now this is this one's kind of difficult. In fact, this one may run away with me a couple of times. This is one of the harder springs. Being a flat wire spring, you're gonna have to wiggle it. Then you're gonna have to find, there it goes, find the hole. As you wiggle it, being a flat wire spring, it's harder for the end to just kind of hit the spring and go, so you're going to have to wiggle it around that spring so it'll work its way down into the hole. Once you get it in the hole, you can put it on that step. That is one of the harder springs. The flat wire springs are some of the hardest to do. I think there's some of the better springs, but there's some of the hardest to reassemble. Alright, so we're going to put it back through this, through your grooves right here. We're going to start them right there. Alright, nice and easy. Now we're going to slide it back. Alright, now I want you to watch your little flathead right here. See it locked in place? Alright, now we know it's put back together and it is ready to shoot technically. However, I am going to go ahead and wax it. Show you how I wax it. I'm going to go ahead and wipe the whole gun off. Wipe her down real good. Make sure there's no oil. Make sure there's no grease. Follow all your safety rules, especially when the gun's put back together. I do know it's unloaded. We'll go ahead and chamber check it again. but we literally just put it back together. Alright, so we're going to take our Renaissance wax, clean my finger off because I've had grease and stuff on it, don't want none of that on there, and clean your slide off. I see a little bit right here. I don't know if you can see that down in there. It's right there. I'm going to clean it. Alright, now we're going to take the wax, get it on my finger. You can probably see it sheening. Now the wax, it really doesn't matter how thick you get it. It's like a car wax. It's going to haze over. And then once it's hazed over, we're going to wipe it off. The wax, what it does a couple of things. It will help with holster wear. It will help prolong holster wear, basically. So to keep your gun nice and pretty, if you will, looking good. Prevent that holster wear. And it will also prevent rust, and it will also prevent just normal wear. These coatings, they're pretty good. Most of them I think are nitrite coatings. They're pretty good, but they only last so long. So basically we're going to keep watching it, and we're going to wait till it hazes over real good, and then we're going to wipe this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here, I'm going to sit it down, and when it hazes, we'll come back and we'll wipe it down. Alright, she's good and hazed over. We're going to take our microfiber cloth, and I buy these in bundles, usually online and like crafts places. I know that eBay and Amazon and all that has it. I try to buy it from mom and pops. You can get it from your local mom and pop if you have one, craft store, or like fabric store maybe. You might can buy it in a roll or something. Microfiber, I'm not sure. Ours does not have it. We don't have a mom and pop. We have a large craft store here, and we have a couple of large like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, stuff like that. We have those. But as far as I know, we don't have anywhere that sells these out of a mom and pop. I do suggest buying mom and pops the best you can. Alright, now just wipe it off till you see that it's all gone. You'll see the haze just like waxing a car. If you've never waxed a car, it just hazes over, and then you can tell when you've got it all wiped off, and you can definitely tell when you've left some on there. So then just wipe it off. Okay, that's good to go. So this thing is ready to load and ready to go do some shooting.